I was crying last night watching the Crosby Golden goal.
I was going to question when you were watching.
I still cry more at the Crosby Tim Hortons commercial.
I watched that too.
Oh man,
Wouldn't it be great if I could do this and get paid for it or whatever he says?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It gets me every time. It really does.
Hi, welcome to SportsCenter and our last week of shows before we go on our summer break. We have a calendar we can check
right,
on,
we
you
can
can plan your life.
So there you go.
Last show's on July 19th, and then we're off for a year.
1 year. So that's the deal we signed, and our agents did pretty well by that.
A month.
A month. So we'll be back on Labor Day, I believe, somewhere in that weekend, Labor Day. So look forward to season 2 of Jay and Dan. That'll begin on Labor Day.
Sunday, a great day in the sports calendar.
Yes, it was, Dan, because you had the Wimbledon final, and then, of course, you had the World Cup final that you saw on CTV and TSN, the 21st edition. From the Luzhniki Stadium in Moscow. So fans in France and Croatia getting ready. And there's 2014 champion with Germany, Philipp Lahm, bringing out the trophy. Croatia looking to become just the 9th nation to lift it. France looking to claim their 2nd title. You know, people say the French don't get excited about soccer, but they seem pretty excited here. Been so good for Croatia. He pulled Croatia level against England. He does it again here against France. Central Square in Zagreb going crazy. Croatia fans in Mississauga, Ontario celebrating the goal. Wow! France, the 6th country to win multiple World Cups as they match Argentina and Uruguay with those 2 titles. France trailed for just 9 minutes and 12 seconds in this World Cup, and that's all against Argentina in the round of 16. They're also the first team to score 4 goals in a World Cup final since Brazil in 1970, and of course they were excited. And as expected, as I mentioned, people often criticize the French for not being as excited about their national team as they should be. They seem pretty fired on Sunday. They all turned out. They're having the time of their lives. They were one of the favorites, and they came through, and they're a young team. They could do it again in 4 years. There are 11 goals in the knockout stage, matching the record for the most in World Cup history. Every team that scored at least 11 goals in the knockout stage has gone on to win the World Cup. France just the 3rd nation to accomplish it, as Brazil and Germany did it twice, once as West Germany back in 1954. Boy, our panel has been so great, highly acclaimed throughout the whole tournament. And
Tragic news shook the hockey world Sunday as former NHLer Ray Emery drowned while swimming in his hometown of Hamilton. Emery played parts of 11 seasons in the NHL. His last game was in 2014-15. Emery was only 35 years old. Matthew Shinetti reports from Hamilton.
At around 6 a.m. Sunday morning, Hamilton police received a phone call that a man had gone swimming in this pier in Hamilton's West Harbor and had not resurfaced. And in the following hours, both Hamilton and Niagara's police departments undertook a thorough search, and Ray Emery's body was ultimately found at about 2:50 p.m. Eastern Time, 70 feet from where he was last seen, and was taken out of the water less than an hour later. And as the investigation continues on Monday, and though police have spoken to some of those who last saw Emery alive, they are still asking witnesses to come forward. Matthew Shinetti, TSN, Hamilton.
Eugene Melnick released a statement. On behalf of the Ottawa Senators, I wish to express my sincere condolences on the passing of Ray Emery. Ray was instrumental in our run to the 2007 Stanley Cup Final, and at his best, he brought a competitive edge and combative mentality to the game. On behalf of our entire organization, I wish to extend my deepest sympathies to Ray's family, friends, and loved ones. And condolences flooded in from around the hockey world on social media. Scotty Hartnell, so sad to hear the news of Ray Emery. You will be missed, bro. James Van Riemsdyk played with Emery for 2 seasons. So sad to hear the tragic news about Ray Emery. Was a great teammate and person. Rest in peace. The Coyotes' Dylan Strome tweeted awful news to read. Played in a charity hockey game with him last night and was smiling the whole time. Thoughts and prayers to his friends and family. R.I.P. Razor. Leafs GM Kyle Dubas released a statement saying Ray's smile and intelligence made him a magnetic personality. You always rooted for him to reach his vast potential, even as he went through the many ups and downs of his playing career. Emery was drafted by the Senators in 2001, also played with the Flyers, Ducks, and Blackhawks. Again, he was only 35 years old. Wimbledon final went head-to-head with the World Cup final on Sunday. While it was France and Croatia and Russia, it was South Africa against Serbia in England. Kevin Anderson is the really tall tennis player against Novak Djokovic. He's the three-time Wimbledon champ. And Anderson looks like the drummer for the Police, too. Kind of looks like him. Anderson's 6'8".
Stuart Copeland.
Yeah, does he not?
We'll have to do an Are They Related? Maybe
After-
later in the show.
After all three of his previous Wimbledon victories, Djokovic eats a piece of grass.
Cambridge, maybe
Producer Tim has promised an Are They Related later in the show. Stuart Copeland and Anderson.
That's the Duke and Duchess of
Look forward to
Cambridge
that.
on hand. Crowd getting on Djokovic's nerves. Oh, don't read lips. Djokovic not happy with the crowd yelling out. He fought off 2 set points to hold. Djokovic down 6-5. Anderson pushing for his first break. Great touch. Anderson up double set point. Djokovic fights one off. And forehand winner. Djokovic saves 5 set points, forcing a third set tiebreak. Anderson down 2-1. Opts to come forward. Probably rethinking that decision. Djokovic hasn't won a Grand Slam since the 2016 French, up 6-3. And with championship point.
Game, set, match.
Djokovic clinches his 13th Grand Slam title. As is tradition, he eats some sweet, sweet grass. Djokovic reflecting on his last year of play.
I got back to the court too fast, and I wasn't ready to compete. Indian Wells, Miami were not great. And it took me several months really to regain the confidence, go back to basics, and start to hit as many balls on the practice court as possible, so I can feel comfortable, playing on the high level. They're all special, but if I can pick one, that would be probably the first one, and this year's winning, because my son was at the trophy ceremony, which made it extra special.
His 13th career major title moves him into 4th place in the all-time Grand Slam men's singles titles list. At 31 years and 54 days old, Djokovic becomes the 3rd oldest men's Wimbledon champ in the open era. And with this win, his career earnings are now at over $114 million.
As the Jays continue to lose heartbreaking games like they did Saturday on a walk-off grand slam by Xander Bogaerts, they can take comfort in the fact that they still have prime assets they could trade before the July 31st deadline, except for Kevin Pillar, who's now out 4 to 6 weeks. During Saturday's game, Pillar made another great diving catch but landed hard on his right shoulder. He'd leave the game. The team has since announced that he will miss up to 6 weeks with an SC joint sprain. SC joint sprain. Xander Bogaerts, as I mentioned, a walk-off grand slam on Saturday, first inning. That's also a home run. Boston has an early 1-0 lead. Teoscar Hernandez, just 1 home run in his last 18. That came earlier in the series. 2-0 Boston in the second. This is a 2-run shot over the wall for his 15th to tie it at 2. So that's the good news. Hernandez, though, in the field, sometimes it's so tough for young fielders to get used to dealing with the green monster. Sandy Leon, lines went off the wall, and Teoscar just does not play it properly. Leon cruises into second, and Stroman's not pleased. Next batter is Jackie Bradley Jr. This will go over the head of Randall Grichuk. Leon will score 3-2 Sox. Stroman went 5, gave up 3 earned. As the Jays head into the break on a losing note. Boston takes it 5-2 is the final. Yeah, as I mentioned, on a losing note, a .453 win percentage, the worst mark at the break under John Gibbons' second stint as manager. Toronto enters the break 23.5 games back of the Bo Sox for top spot in the division, 14 games back of the Mariners for that second wild card in the American League. We have a new sponsor for our walkover clock. It's JD&B Home Rentals. Basically, we are renting out our homes and this studio over the course of our vacation, which begins this Friday. So if you're interested, send us a tweet.
Yeah, the only thing, if you do rent the studio, you have to make sure you feed cameraman Glenn.
That's right. Cameraman Glenn will be staying here for the duration of the vacation. Not exactly sure why.
Showed you earlier, France beat Croatia 4-2, earned their second World Cup title and first since 1998. You mentioned Luke and the guys, how great they have been. Let's check in with them one last time.
Joined by Carl Robinson, Stephen Caldwell and Christian Jack. Heading into this tournament, France were one of the favourites, and while big names fell throughout the last month in Russia, France seemed to keep getting better and better. So how did they do it, KJ?
Well, I think obviously it's a victory for the collective, and they came through a very difficult side of the draw as well, which I think upon reflection really made them battle-tested and hardened by obviously playing Argentina and Uruguay to get through there, Belgium in the semi-final. I think all those games were very, very difficult games, while the other side of the draw opened up for the teams. I think that helped France being on the other side, but every credit for the way they came together. They were not a team of individuals. They were a true team, and you know, when we look back at this World Cup, I think we'll look at many of those performers who were able to deliver individual performances.
I think the team epitomised what he's about. Showed character, they were efficient, they were tactically smart. You know, I keep going back to it's about players. They had world-class players playing today. In big occasions, big players step up. And that's what you saw today.
France win the World Cup for the second time, the 6th nation to win it more than once.
Now, after the Blue Jays lost to the Red Sox Sunday, this is interesting. We didn't get a chance to talk about this earlier, but Marcus Stroman took issue with a member of the media. Stroman was asked about his time with Toronto's single-A team, the Vancouver Canadians. And according to the Toronto Sun, the righty felt the question was irrelevant and unrelated to his or his team's performance. The report says Stroman pointed out that the Jays had just lost to the Red Sox and that his team is bleeping terrible. Well, afterwards, Stroman went on Twitter and clarified. Media asked me a question that had absolutely nothing to do with the game, team, or my performance. We just lost, and it's extremely frustrating. I'm not playing well, and neither are we as a team. After the camera shut off, I said word for word, I'm terrible right now, we're terrible right now. It's frustrating, and that question isn't relevant at all to a member of the media. They chose to run the we're terrible part only. That's ridiculous. It's frustrating losing. I love this team and this city to the death of me. That won't ever change, regardless of what words are spun.
Well, they are terrible, so.
Yeah, they are. This is the kind of thing that happens when you have the kind of first half that the Blue Jays had.
Yeah.
Little thing blows up into a big thing.
The Montreal Canadiens announced Sunday they agreed to terms with center Philip Danault. Danault signed a 3-year deal worth just over $3 million per year. The 25-year-old scored 8 goals, added 17 assists in 52 games with the Habs last year, so good payday for him.
You know, Marc Bergevin's paying for potential here, right? Mm-hmm. He's going to be an unrestricted free agent in July of 2021. So if you want to get your, if Frank Saravalli is watching and he wants to get his unrestricted free agent list ready for 2021, Danault, top of the list. I don't know if he's working ahead that much. When we come back, the Canadian contingent with a strong showing at the Toronto Indy. You do not want to miss those highlights next on J&D.
It was a gorgeous day in Toronto for the Honda Indy Toronto. James Hinchcliffe, Oakville, Ontario's own, starting the race in 9th. Turn 2, Canadian makes contact with teammate Robert Wickens. Both drivers fall out of the top 10. Sebastian Bourdais troubles on turn 3, hits the wall, spins out. Man, the other guys just narrowly avoid the 18 car. And then Bourdais loses part of his back wing. It goes over the wall. No spectators were in that area. More action on turn 3 after a restart. Several cars pile up in a crash. Alex Rossi catches air as he collides with Graham Rahal. Another caution. Rookie Rene Bindi having some issues as the safety crew's attending to his car. Binder reverses into a crew member. Everyone was okay. Wickens now in third. Guelph, Ontario's Wickens trying to pass Simon Pagenaud. Wickens bumps into the back of Pagenaud's car. Wickens tries to pass him again. This time, Pagenaud pushes him into the wall. After all the chaos, Scott Dixon wins for the third time in Toronto. Hinchcliffe battled back to finish behind Wickens, who claimed third. It's now the third year in a row where a Canadian has made the podium in Toronto. Hinchcliffe was there the past 2.
That was fun.
Everyone's not going to the All-Star game. They go to, I don't know,
Yeah,
beaches?
hang out. Maybe they want to rent this studio. Again, just a reminder, this studio is available for rent while we are on our vacation for weddings, parties, bar mitzvahs.
Final round of the LPGA Marathon Classic in Ohio. Brooke Henderson holding a one-shot lead heading into the final round. This is the 5th time she's had the lead or share going into the final day. Par for 5th. Henderson approach is El Presidente, El Perfecto. She would tap it in for her second birdie of the day on 14. 20-year-old in the three-way tie. Chance to regain that right lead. Sinks it. Her 4th bird of the day. She needed this putt to save par on 15.
Wait for it. Oh, that's unbelievable.
Really? Really?
That defies gravity. Wow.
Wow, indeed. Henderson picks up her first bogey of the day after giving another shot back on 16. 20-year-old needing a birdie on 18 to tie and join the playoff. She finished in 3rd place with a 269, good for $108,000.
That's all right. That's okay. The World Cup brings out plenty of celebrities, including former UFC champ Conor McGregor. The Irish fighter was an honorary guest of Russian President Vladimir Putin during the World Cup final. This won't be awkward at all. What are they talking about? McGregor, by the way, celebrated his 30th birthday on Saturday.
Yeah, we thought one photo Conor posted from the final deserved a closer look, so it's time for another unnecessary breakdown.
Ah, yeah. See, first things first here, Dave. Who eats pasta at a sporting event? Seriously. It's just a bowl of pasta. Do they not have hot dogs in Russia?
And where's Conor sitting? A single giant chair? It's like he's by himself.
He seems lonely. If you're paying top dollar for seats, maybe get cup holders? Get a cup holder.
And that's all before we get to this photo, which we literally do not have enough time for.
I mean, just what has Putin done to his face? Is Putin even really Putin? That's another question I have.
Is Putin Putin? Wednesdays on CTV.
This summer.
Newest Laker LeBron James, he sat courtside to watch his new team take on the Pistons in Summer League on Sunday in Vegas. LeBron put the suit shorts away and donned a pair of purple and gold Laker shorts. LeBron signed a 4-year deal with $153.3 million with LA. He even said hello to his former coach, Ty Lue. And those shorts, if you're thinking, I want a pair, well, they're throwback Laker shorts. They cost $500 and they're sold out.
LeBron has mastered the art of talking like this with his hands so that you can't see what he's really saying. It's pretty good.
He doesn't want anyone to know.
That's right. He doesn't want anyone reading lips. Now it's time for my favorite segment of the week. It's time for the Jane Dan mailbag. These are actual letters from actual viewers from across this great country.
Andrew Taves is looking for some advice. One on sale for 79 cents. How many 1-liter chocolate milk should a person buy? Well, here's the thing. Chocolate milk, it's got a longer expiry date, so I don't know, a couple dozen?
Couple dozen seems like, I feel like you're going to lose a few. I say half a dozen. You drink one on the way home. You have one later that night, that's 2. Then you drink 2 more the next day. Make it 3, actually. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You got 1 left for the weekend, and that's when you really, really party. Okay. Aaron Ziolkowski. That's Aaron Ziolkowski. Wants to know, Jay, what is the angriest you've ever been at Dan? You know, I almost never get angry. Actually, you know what? Before the show, I was upset about one thing. You've been wearing the same suit since mid-May. What is with that flowery tie? It looks like something you got in the bargain bin, and you can't pronounce a Croatian soccer player's name to save your life. You cost us a Canadian Screen Award this year, and you'll probably cost us one next year, too. That's maybe a bit harsh.
And finally, Cyril Sneer asks, what was the best Canadian TV theme song of all time? The Littlest Hobo, the Raccoons, Body Break, or the gold standard Hockey Night in Canada theme? Cyril Sneer is from the Raccoons, so I know which one he wants us to pick.
Those are all great themes.
Yeah.
I don't think you can really pick one, but could you combine two of them?
Mwah.
I love it.
You're welcome, CTV.
I can't wait for the reboot because we've got the rights to that theme. We've got the rights to the hobo.
And we've mentioned it before, they used to shoot the Littlest Hobo in our back lot here.
They could shoot it in the studio. We'll rent it to you. Producers of The Littlest Hobo.
Coming up, the World Cup trophy went to France, but who will get the prestigious Janny Award? Find out next. It's the Jannies. Raisin Twins. Reds and Cards, Jed Jerko, fly ball to right center, Billy Hamilton. Oh,
and it's a diving catch.
He had to hurry up. He thought someone else was getting it.
And he's looking at
this Rays Twins game that was
just catching too much of the play.
a lot of tempers flaring, but this is just a funny moment as Eddie Rosario does the bat flip over his own helmet.
There you see it.
He kind of hits him. Yeah, he hits himself.
Shifted over into the shortstop position.
It's an awkward bat flip.
World Lacrosse Championships, Canada, USA. Wesley Berg, like a young Tracy Kelusky, dives and finishes with a beautiful diving goal.
Chris Bryant. Grounder.
In front of the plate. Hedges jumps out there.
And throw to first is off the mark. He's off to second.
This is Chris Bryant.
And throw to second's off the mark. He's going to third. It's a base hit plus an E2 and an E9. Chris Bryant.
It was a hot one in Chicago Sunday, so Jose Abreu, he helped everyone stay cool, including his third base coach. He sprayed him down. And
Entrepreneur.
wear those throwbacks at all times. Those are gold.
Yeah, they look great.
Jose seems to
Love
want to take a
those.
rest now as he scored at just about everybody.
And then Raptors, Cavs, Summer League. Colin Sexton, Cavaliers first rounder, who's so excited to play with LeBron. He's not going to get. That's not going to happen.
Thought that. How long is that summer league going on for?
All the way into the fall and through the regular season. So you go home hungry. You Blew It is our popular segment where we point out our many errors. We didn't know there was a World Cup song. It's not our fault. I said that Uruguay had only 2 World Cup titles. Technically, they have 4. In 1924 and 1928, the World Cup and the Olympics were coordinated. That's why Uruguay has 4 World Cup stars on the uniforms. I didn't know that. One of our viewers pointed that out. Thank you for that. I also said Bo Bichette was 1 for 3 in the Futures game. He's 1 for... No, I said he was 1 for 2. He's 1 for 3. And you said Hondi Indy, not Honda Indy. And now, your Are They Related segment.
Yeah, mention it when I saw his picture. Thought Kevin Anderson is related to the Police drummer,
Stuart Copeland. Yeah, that was a pretty good one.
That's very close.
That was very good, man. Yeah.
Thank you.
Really pulled it off.
All right, we'll see you. Here, I'll pull you in. I'll do a rope trick.
Bryce Harper.
They probably think like, oh, this is how gum is served around here. On a gum
On a
plate.
small paper plate.
Oh, he's a stats guy.
Yeah,
He's the stats
Oh, I
guy.
don't like him. I don't want him. I want
We
I
don't
want the
either.
questions.
I can't roll straight. Sports Center.